My favourite presentation, and the one I coach the most to new players, to young players, is a slight change on the normal horseshoe presentation. And so what it is, the first movement is scoring the try. So when we score the try, we're landing on top of the ball, chest on ball. Now, I teach this because I want my players constantly fighting. When they're in the contact, I want them fighting. If they can get that extra metre, extra 2 metres, and they fall on the ball like this for a couple of reasons. One is if there is a jackler, if there is a threat, he doesn't have direct line of sight on that ball. So he can't come in, he can't get hands on the ball. If we fall slightly sideways, if we're doing this, which we often do when we're going into contact, we're almost always presenting early. This gives a jackler line of sight on ball, and he can come in and disrupt that ball straight away. So by falling on top, all a jackler can do is come in and do a double hook. So why this works is because the next movement is going to disrupt that jackler and hopefully almost kick him straight out of there, or at least create enough space for a cleaner to come through and clean out. And so from this position, we're going to dig our inside shoulder into the ground, lift our hips up, and we're going to fling our hips forward. Now, if we see where Patrick just fell, is his body is facing sideways. The objective is to get our body pointing directly at our try line. So if we come back to position, we score the try. From here, dig our hips in, dig our shoulder in, flick, big flick, and see now that big flick, our back is pointing directly towards our try line. Now, if you noticed, if we just come back and just do a normal horseshoe presentation where we just fall to the side and present, from the same starting point, fall to the side, present, and present long, move a little bit, okay? So the ball is basically, we're bringing the ball back. Sometimes we'll get them to move from here and present even further longer, but what we're doing is we're losing that line of advantage. So by coming back and doing this other movement, scoring the try, we instantly gain, but the ball is more or less staying here. What's happening is those hips are coming flicking forward, and now instead of the defense line being here, we've gained a metre and a half more, and then we do a long presentation. And so if we come back again, another reason why the hip flick is really important is that if you are in a strange position and the jackler has come and getting close to the ball, by doing the hip flick, we're just destabilizing that jackler for a second, hopefully enough just to get him coming up a little bit, and then our cleaners will come through and blow him out. When you're coaching this, we want all the movements to be really explosive. So if we're doing it in full time, we're hitting the floor, coming through, bouncing, and see in his first movement, he didn't quite reach with the line of the back facing our goal line, and he just did an extra movement. This is what we want to be doing all the time. We want to get the FOG fog into our players' minds. That means fight on ground, and we want to be constantly fighting to finish in that perfect position to present the ball. So if we come back and we do it again, a really good drill is you can get 2 players on their knees, they can be fighting. My role is to upset him, so I'm pulling him down, I'm trying to get that ball, trying to get him to turn sideways, fighting, and until he's in that perfect position, he keeps moving, he keeps jutting those hips back. If he keeps moving those hips, he's going to keep upsetting that defense. So if you're using this in trainings, a really good way is to implement in touch games. Every time they get touched, they go to ground and they do all movements. They score the try, shoulder, hip thrust, at the same time a long presentation. If their back isn't facing the goal line, they can keep moving till it's in that position. If they don't reach that position, change over, the other team attacks.